the distant land of wild allure, nestled between enchanted mountains and silvery forests, there lived a peculiar people known for their unmatched wisdom. Each year, as the last leaf fell and snow whispered over rooftops, every man, woman, and child of wild allure would drink a silken elixir brewed from moon herbs and fall into a deep slumber. This tradition of winter hibernation had lasted for centuries, believed to preserve clarity of thought and maintain harmony with nature. But Princess Elenya, daughter of Queen Verelda and heir to the moon-carved throne, was not like the others. Elenya was spirited, curious, and full of mischief. She had never understood why her people shunned the cold months. What if winter is not something to fear? She often whispered to herself as she stared out the frosted windows of the palace. One evening, days before the town was to drink the hibernation elixir, Elenya stumbled upon an ancient book in the restricted wing of the royal library. Bound in ice-blue leather and etched with silver snowflakes, the book was titled Whispers of the Frozen Realms. Her breath caught as she flipped through page after page of dazzling paintings, glistening lakes of ice, trees dusted in snow like powdered sugar, creatures made of crystal and frost, and swirling skies lit by green and violet light. Winter is not a curse, the final page read, it is a hidden world waiting to be discovered. That night, while her mother and the court slipped into slumber, Elenya poured her cup of the moon elixir into a potted plant and wrapped herself in a cloak of fox fur. Armed with nothing but the mysterious book, a pocket lantern, and her stubborn heart, she slipped out of the palace and into the sleeping town. The world beyond the castle walls was breathtaking. Snowvale Forest sparkled under the moonlight like it had been kissed by stars. Trees sighed in the breeze, and strange, silent owls watched from their perches. Elenya trudged through the powdery paths, each step filling her with a thrill she had never known. Along the way, she met a curious old man named Crimble, who claimed to be the last winter waker, one of the rare few who stayed awake to protect the town from winter spirits. He gave her a silver bell. Ring it only when you're truly in danger, he warned, but not all was wonder. One morning, as the sun rose pale and slow over a ridge, Elenya was ambushed by a band of masked robbers, forest bandits, who used the town as hibernation to plunder freely. They seized her lantern, her book, and dragged her toward their icy hideout. Though she kicked and screamed, none heard her. Wild allure was fast asleep. Just as her fate seemed sealed, the robbers were struck down by a flash of blinding blue light. A tall figure in a snow-lined cape emerged from behind a tree, wielding a shimmering staff of frost. I thought I was the only one awake, he said with a sly grin. His name was Kellen, a wandering scholar from the nearby kingdom of Thrinder, a place where winter was embraced rather than escaped. Elenya noticed the royal seal on his glove and narrowed her eyes. You're not just a scholar, are you? Kellen smiled but said nothing. Together, they escaped into the frozen hills. They warmed themselves near steaming geysers, crossed rivers covered in glowing ice, and even rode a creature called a snowswirl, a giant fox with fur like snowdrifts and eyes like sapphires. Kellen shared stories of his homeland, where children skated on lakes and carved lanterns from ice to light their cities. Elenya, in turn, told him of her kingdom's fear of winter, how they slept through it, and how she yearned to change that. As days passed, their friendship deepened into something warmer, and Elenya began to understand not just the beauty of winter, but the strength found in facing the cold rather than hiding from it. But danger returned quickly. One evening, they were cornered by the bandits once more, this time with larger numbers and ice hounds. Elenya remembered the bell Crimble had given her. With trembling fingers, she rang it. The chime echoed through the snow like a beam of sunlight. A gust of wind swept through the trees, and from the shadows emerged Crimble and an army of frost guardians, elemental beings sworn to protect the innocent during winter's reign. The robbers fled into the dark, their spell broken. When spring arrived, the people of Wild Allure awoke to find their princess missing. Panic spread until one bright morning, a horn blew at the town gates. Elenya stood beside Kellen, her cloak now lined with frost feathers, her cheeks rosy and eyes glowing. The town gasped. Elenya told her story, of winter's wonder, of the dangers lurking while they slept, and of the friends she had made. At first, few believed her, until she opened her silver book and out flew a snowflake that danced in the air, glowing like a living star. Moved by her courage, the queen abolished the tradition of enforced slumber. Wild Allure would now choose to sleep or stay awake. Years later, Elenya became queen of Wild Allure, and Kellen, her prince. Together they ruled a kingdom where wisdom met wonder, and where the magic of winter was finally embraced. And every year, on the first snow, Children gathered around to hear the story of the princess who stayed awake.